not to be furious about, not to be frankly offended by the attack by Americans, on our democracy, on the seat of our democracy, and to not want to invest in knowing what happened, the facts and circumstances, and invest in our people, our Capitol Police, I think is a shameful decision of failed governing by the Republicans.
While Republicans decry the need for an investigation into the Capitol riot, many questions remain unanswered. For its part, the Capitol Police Department is announcing changes it's made since 1/6. Among them, more protection for our elected officials when they're off the Hill. In a statement, the department said the USCP has enhanced our staffing within our Dignitary Protection Division, as well as coordinated for enhanced security for members of Congress outside of the National Capital Region. The department is also in process of opening regional field offices in California and Florida, with additional regions in the near future to investigate threats to members of Congress. For more, let's turn to Juanita Tolliver, a veteran political strategist and two progressive candidates and causes. Tim Miller, a contributor to The Bulwark and former communications director for Jeb Bush. Good to see you, Juanita. What is going on? What's your reaction to news that Capitol Police are now feeling they have to have field offices to handle threats to lawmakers?
Well, Chris, it shows a recognition of gaps in what we saw in the lead up to January 6th and an effort to rectify and fill those gaps and make sure that intelligence is being not only spread throughout the organization, but collected in a more efficient way that can have tangible impact before anything happens. But more importantly, Chris, I think we need that full exploration, that full understanding of other gaps that need to be filled to prevent this from ever happening again, as well as still a full understanding of what led up to January 6th, who was involved, who potentially gave tours, what was said to Trump, what was Trump doing during the entire attack when he was silent. And so that's where we see the Select Committee coming in. And I really appreciate Benny Thompson's statement today, just a few hours ago, that every option is on the table right now, and they are going to get to the truth because it's their mandate. And so he's going to see that through in a way that I think is going to be highly productive, but also revelatory in understanding, again, what happened in the lead up and what gaps there are still remaining to ensure that this never happens again. Yeah,
on the other side of that, however, that equation is Kevin McCarthy, and Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger said this about the GOP leader, Tim. Let me read from it. Kevin gave a great speech the week after January 6th, and then he went to Mar-a-Lago and charged the paddles and brought Trump back to life. That's the moment when I realized, oh, man, this is a problem. I will certainly talk to Kevin if he wants to, but I don't see how we're ever going to come eye to eye on this until there is a recognition that we can't be the party of insurrection. I mean, Tim, this seems to me just one example of the fundamental question right now for the Republican Party. Is it the party of Trump and McCarthy or Liz Cheney and Kinzinger? And is it even close?
Hey, Chris. Yeah, look, the fundamental question's been answered. It's the party of Trump and McCarthy, and Kinzinger and Cheney are this kind of like vestigial apparatus that's hanging on to a party that they're no longer really a part of in any meaningful way, unfortunately. I mean, I wish they were. I wish that they could fight and win people over. But the reality is that the Republican elected officials in Washington have made their bed on this. They had an opportunity to go the route of Cheney and Kinzinger, as Kinzinger pointed out, the week after January 6th, when many of them were speaking indistinguishably from how Adam speaks now. But they decided to go another path because that's what their voters wanted them to do. And now, in order to stay in power, Kevin McCarthy has no choice but to continue down this path, to continue down the path of energizing MAGA voters with this sort of, election conspiracy two-step, while hoping that enough swing voters, will look away from what happened on January 6th, and they won't have these long memories, and they'll focus more on other issues as we get ahead to the midterms next year. That's the bet that he's made. He's already made it. There's no internal fight left to have. I'm glad Kinzinger's out there saying what he's saying, but the fight within the party is over.
Yeah, now let's see what the commission can do. And Juanita, I want to play for you what Congressman Jim Clyburn said when he was asked if former President Trump would be called to testify about January 6th.
If it comes to that, they should go wherever the facts lead. I would not want to see a former president testifying in such a situation as this. But if that's what it takes in order to get to the bottom of this.
I don't think there are a lot of people who are making bets on Donald Trump going before the committee. Do you think, realistically, are we ever going to get a satisfactory answer about what went wrong that day?
I think we will get more information, Chris. Will we get it from Trump? Probably not. Like you said, it's highly unlikely that he would show up. Even if a subpoena was issued, he would fight it tooth and nail to avoid it. But eventually, I think there will be something to come out from Trump. But here's the reality. With subpoenas like that floating in the air potentially, with this drumbeat of other potential subpoenas to Republican leadership, that shows that this committee is going to run as long as it takes. That's a message we've gotten from Pelosi. That's a message that Clyburn was mentioning just there, saying, we'll do whatever it takes. And that's a message that I think Benny Thompson was also communicating, especially as someone who has investigated other terrorist threats, other national security issues. He knows what it takes to get this done. So while we might not get it from the mouth of Trump, I still think figures like McCarthy or Lauren Boebert or Gosar or any other Republican who might have had something to do with this coming before the committee to offer full testimony under oath is a definite probability.
And real quick, Tim, what do you think is going to happen with the committee? Do you think that there's going to be an announcement? They're going to actually name Republicans who might seriously look at this? What do you think Kevin McCarthy's move is?
I doubt it. I mean, I think that the Republicans that want to be on it are the Matt Gaetzes of the world, and I just don't know that. I think
Marjorie Taylor Greene,
strategic bet to ignore it for now, but we'll see.